What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game Room. I'm your host, Rome, along with my co-host, Jeffrey Vegas. Jeff, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent tonight, man. I was doing a little running around today, a little bit crazy at work, but good day, good day.
Excellent, excellent. I'm really excited that we're starting off here with the Game Room podcast, episode 1. So tonight's episode is going to be basically what a regular episode is going to, entail, which we're going to start with a news roundup of the previous week. Now, normally the Game Room's going to debut or be on Mondays. So it'll kind of be a recap of what happened the previous week, getting you ready for the following week. Jeff, are you ready to go over these news articles with me?
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this all day.
All right. Well, first up, we got some Call of Duty news. Call of Duty announced that
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 has surpassed $1 billion in sales through its first 3 days. It is the fastest selling Call of Duty game ever. This beats out the previous record set by Black Ops 2 back in 2012, which took 15 days to reach the number. Over 1 billion matches have been played, and Xbox reported that 25% of active Xbox users played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in its first week. PlayStation also revealed that it was, I believe, one of their top sellers of all time on their digital shop.
Wow, that's actually crazy to hear because I was expecting this one not to sell quite as good as the others. I know people were waiting for Warzone 2, but I do have to admit they changed a lot for this new COD. And it is amazing. I've been watching a lot of streamers play it, like in particular Dr. Disrespect and Dr. Lupo and those guys. This game looks incredible, and I'm super excited for the Warzone 2 part of it.
Yeah, I've been playing it a lot, and we'll be talking about it a little bit later on, in terms of what we've been playing. But I've really enjoyed it so far. Now, along with this, we already have the plans for Call of Duty next year as well. It's going to be a little bit different. So earlier this year, it was announced that there would not be a premium Call of Duty title next year. The next new Call of Duty title will be in 2024. So that's still the plan. The following is from Jason Schreier on Twitter. Sledgehammer Games is developing paid content in the form of an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, which will release next year in 2023 in place of a full title. The expansion will have, quote unquote, a lot of content, but will most likely be priced at $70. Treyarch's next Call of Duty is still in 2024. So, how do you feel about this? So originally they announced that we were going to be getting, obviously we've had a 1-year Call of Duty cycle for God knows how long. I was still
Yeah.
in like middle school when this started. And now here we are. Them taking a break originally, I was kind of really up for it. And I'm not 100% sure how I feel about them just kind of stretching out the life of this game. But I mean, other games do it all the time, so maybe it's just different. How do you feel about this?
I kind of like it. I do think that Call of Duty was, screaming for a change of some sort. And you got all kinds of them in this game. The weapons system, everything in this game is, completely changed, to be honest. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this. Only, did you say once every other year?
So this is just going to be a 1-year thing. So this
Oh, okay. They're
year
just gonna skip 1 year.
they're just skipping 1 year.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I am as well. I think the thing that kind of gets me caught up on it is that $70 price tag. How much content are we going to see out of this game next year? I think that's my
Yeah.
biggest thing. Because if we're talking like, it needs to be sizable. If we're talking like 6 maps, a new Warzone map, and like 10 new guns and some new operators, I don't know if that really can be worth $70. But obviously, it's way too soon to make that kind of judgment because we have no idea what this expansion will detail. After all, Modern Warfare 2 has only been out for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Headline number 2. Sony seems to be launching a new PlayStation 5 Slim, rumored to have detachable disk drive, sources suggest. All right, let's see here.
So detachable disk drive, is that like the external hard drive that you got to put your games on the PS4?
No, so a disk drive is what you actually put the discs in.
Okay, so there's gonna be a separate little disk thing that you could hook up to it.
So, well, let's take a look at it. So, this is coming from insider-gaming.com. The PlayStation 5 is set to get a unique overhaul in the middle of fiscal year 2023, with the new console launching around September 2023, say sources. Sources familiar with Sony's plans have shared details under the condition of anonymity, outlining the next iteration of the PS5. It's been suggested that this new console will replace the A, B, and C chassis that have been in production since the console's launch. The console, currently named the D chassis PlayStation 5, will have almost identical hardware to the existing consoles already on the market. The most surprising new feature of this new PS5, though, is that the console will have detachable disk drive. Detachable disk drive will be connected to the PS5 using an extra USB-C port on the back of the console. It's understood that this new PS5 will be sold. It's understood that this new PS5 console will be sold on its own or in a bundle with the detachable disk drive. Just to kind of stop there. So I think that this is kind of an interesting idea. I think it might be a way of them to cut costs because having a detachable disk drive, I think the disk drive raises the cost of your console. So I can understand them wanting to do this. And I'm sure that there's going to be more to this PS5 Slim than just the detachable disk drive. But I mean, I don't know. Somebody who buys physical games, this isn't something that necessarily speaks to me. But what do you think about it?
I'm trying to find a picture of it here. I don't think they've even released a picture of it yet, but
Oh yeah,
that
no,
just
this is
seems
complete. This is complete speculation based off like anonymous sources.
it seems unnecessary to me. Like, why not put it in the console like it's always been, you know?
Well, again, I think it's all about cutting costs. I mean, in some countries, the PS5 has already raised its price. Most
Yeah.
consoles, the price goes down as time goes on. The PS5 has actually raised their prices in some countries. So, I understand it, but again, this is something that doesn't really speak to me. But it's more so, the more newsworthy part I feel is the fact that the PS5 Slim is coming, period. But this is just
Yeah.
what the source said along with it.
I want the old school PlayStation 1 flip top where you hit that big giant circle button and the whole top opened up.
Right, yeah. All right, let's see. Mass Effect 5 has possibly been teased. Jeff, have you ever played Mass Effect?
So I've never played the games, but I am a massive fan of them because of there's a rumor of what that they are based on. And it's basically there's a rumor that a secret agent in Russia dropped a book, and inside the book was a list of alien species that have visited planet Earth. And it was supposed to have been destroyed, but it got out there. And apparently, the creator of Mass Effect kind of used that as some inspiration for all the alien species in the game. So,
That's fascinating, actually.
yeah,
Wow,
it's
holy
really
crap.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that story.
Well, so to coincide with that, so N7 Day, which is Mass Effect Day, it's on November 7th of every year. BioWare and Mass Effect put out a tweet saying thank you to all the agents who decoded the footage. Here's a clean transmission. A previous tweet they had said was Happy N7 Day from across the stars. We found this interesting footage you may want to look at a bit more closely. And basically, it is a video showing some artwork that doesn't coincide with any previous Mass Effect. So it's believed by many people that this video teaser is a teaser of Mass Effect 5, um, which a lot of people are
Oh,
very excited for. After Mass Effect Andromeda, the last game, a lot of people very disappointed in Mass Effect. So hopefully, Mass Effect can get back on track.
yeah. Are you saying that people were disappointed in the last game, or just kind of that the series seemed like it was going to be done?
They were disappointed in the last game, so I haven't played
Okay.
Andromeda, but I remember watching a lot of the reviews. It was kind of a buggy game. The first three Mass Effect games are considered to be masterpieces, for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, but the fourth one, Andromeda, wasn't very good. It was pretty buggy, glitchy. It had a lot of problems, so people were very disappointed in it. So there is a lot of hype for it, amongst Mass Effect fans for the next game.
Hey, I'm in. Might as well start now.
Yeah, you know, uh, I have a funny story that I'm gonna tell because I'll tell at some point. I once angered the entire Mass Effect fan base.
Really?
Yep, we're talking like 10,000 plus people.
I mean, we need explanation on this one.
All right, so, and I might have mentioned this to you, but this is not the first time I've done a podcast. A few years back, I was part of a podcast called Gamer Chat Weekly.
Mhm.
And I wrote for a website called ugrgaming.com. Unfortunately, the website's no longer there. It is what it is. The owner moved on to streaming, and now he's a streamer. Love him. Wish him the best. So this was when Mass Effect 3 came out, and I was doing news reporting. So basically, my day would consist of, waking up, looking at the news, and then writing articles about the news for the website. And so Mass Effect 3, there's some controversy to it back in the day about the ending. So basically, people were very upset with the ending. They thought that there was multiple endings in the game, but they weren't like super different. They were more so like they used different color shadings and but they were generally the same endings. So a lot of Mass Effect fans were very vocal and very upset, saying like they need to change the Mass Effect 3 ending. We've been playing these 3 games for years, and this ending is not acceptable to us as a fan base. My opinion of it is at the end of the day, video games are art, and whether you like it or not, if that's the story that the game developers want to tell you, if that's how the game ends, then you know what, that's how it ends. You don't have to like it, but you can't
Yeah.
demand that they change it. That was my thing, right? So I remember writing and reporting on this, and somebody, so the fans, what they did was they got like 1,000 cupcakes, right? And they sent like a third of them were red, a third of them were blue, and a third of them were green to coincide with Mass Effect 3's endings. And they sent these to BioWare's office. It's all in playful fun, it's just 1,000 cupcakes, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I reported on it, and I learned the very important lesson in making sure that if you're making an opinion, make sure you state that this is an opinion and not a factual piece of the news article. I was young, so I made a mistake. I reported on the news, and in the same article, just to add some context and some length to the article, I gave my opinion on it, which I just said that I think, I basically said that I felt the fans were being a little unnecessary. I'm not going to go word for word with it, but I basically said like they're being kind of ridiculous, right? So I did this reporting.
Wow.
I went to bed. I woke up the next morning with the guy that runs the site blowing up my phone, like, dude, what did you do? What did you say? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, your Mass Effect article got like 10,000 views overnight. I'm like, what? And so
That's
apparently
awesome.
a Mass Effect fan found it, put it on like a Mass Effect Facebook group. Because back then Facebook was like really the big one. Like it's not like Twitter is now. So like everybody was on Facebook. Bunch of Mass Effect fans saw it, and like we reiterate. I put out like a follow up where I was just like, hey, that's my opinion. I love the passion. I'm a passionate guy. I get like that about some things too, so I understand it. But so yeah, I once angered a lot of Mass Effect fans.
That's freaking awesome, actually.
Yeah, man.
So I
All
did
right.
find this clip of the Mass Effect video. It's about 2 minutes long, and it's just kind of like it's just some flying through space, right?
Yep, it's just something flying through space. But again, it's just a tease.
Yeah, it's it reminds me of an old there's like a movie intro that has like all the pieces to a film that like come together. It's what it's
Mhm.
reminded me of. It's pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Quick little one for you here, Jeff. I know you like Overwatch 2 a lot. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely. It's getting a little old already because people
All right.
don't play their roles properly, but
Well, maybe this will make you feel a little bit better. Season 2 is coming December 6th, along with an upcoming new tank hero, Ramatra.
yeah, Ramatra looks amazing.
Okay. Do you know anything else about the season? Unfortunately, this news source from IGN, they kind of just say that, and that's all we got. Do you have anything else
So
about season 2 you would know?
well, the way that Overwatch works is their PvP ranked system just has a seasonal thing and it resets every season. So
Hmm.
when season 2 starts, you're gonna have to do your placements again. If you're up there in like Diamond or Master, Grandmaster, you're gonna have to, of course, do your placements again and make your way back up to your Grandmaster rank or whatever you may be. So they kind of do that to keep it fresh. Keep the competitive side feeling fresh.
Hmm.
They'll do some tuning on some heroes, I'm sure, from season to season. Sometimes they change a rule or two from season to season, but we'll see.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, on to the next story, and this is a news story that I'm extremely excited about. So this past week, Gears of War celebrated its 16th anniversary since the first game came out. And to coincide with this, Netflix has announced a Gears of War movie alongside an adult animated series are coming to the platform.
An adult animated series.
Basically, it's saying it's an animated series aimed at adults.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Gears of
probably
War.
gonna be rated R at least.
Yeah,
That's
have you
gonna be
ever played
sick.
Gears of War?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
I
Well,
actually really enjoy those types of games where you like go up against the barriers and kind of use, I don't know what the word is, but use them as cover. Yeah, the
yeah,
cover style.
yeah, the cover mechanics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So here's some more information on that. This is from IGN. Netflix is partnering with the Coalition, the developer of the Gears of War franchise, to develop a Gears of War movie alongside an adult animated series.
Oh,
Netflix tweet. I'm sorry.
I was just like, oh, a movie too. Damn,
Yeah, so it's going to be a movie and a series.
that's awesome.
Netflix tweeted on its official account this morning, Gears of War was released 16 years ago today. I'm sorry, not this morning. This is a few days old, obviously. To mark the
Yeah.
occasion, Netflix has partnered with the Coalition to adapt Gears of War video game into a saga into a live-action feature film followed by an adult animated series, with the potential for more stories to follow. Series creator Cliff Bleszinski, who recently spoke with IGN, responded by tweeting, "Oh shit." I love Cliff Bleszinski, by the way. Like this dude. Do you know that Cliff Bleszinski is in the first issue of Nintendo Power, like back in the '80s?
No, I did not know that.
So he was a kid and he submitted his score. He was on he was on the Legend of Zelda leaderboard in the first Nintendo Power because he was a reader who sent his stuff in. And he went on to create Gears of War.
Okay, I feel like I've heard that somewhere, but yeah, it rings a bell now. That's cool.
Yeah. It's unclear if this project is connected to the Gears of War movie that has been stuck in development for 15 years. Dave Bautista has been consistently attached as Marcus Phoenix, which he has described as a dream role. So this is not part of the article, but in the days that followed since, Bautista has actually been campaigning for him to be at least in the Gears of War movie. He's even posted videos of himself in Gears armor.
Oh, dope.
Saying like I couldn't make it any easier for you. And then he puts on sunglasses. Yeah, Batista throughout the years has been very vocal about being Marcus Phoenix in a Gears of War movie. And it's also really funny to me that we have been waiting as Gears fans about 15 years for this movie because it's been in development hell for 15 years. So
Yeah.
the Gears series itself has been quiet since the release of Gears Tactics in 2020. However, a new Gears game is known to be in development. As for the movie and the animated series, neither have a release date. I am extremely excited for this. I love Gears of War. I am a little cautious because the Halo show, some people liked it. I mean, my big thing was just how they handled Master Chief in general. So it was on Paramount Plus. I decided not to get Paramount Plus right away. I was like, I'll wait till the whole show comes out and see what people think, and if they like it, then I'll get Paramount and then I'll watch it. Well, they show Master Chief like fucking buck naked in it. Like he takes off his mask a lot and he shows his face a lot and just
Yeah.
so they didn't handle that super well. So I'm a little cautious about this Gears of War movie, but hopefully if the Coalition has a big part to play in it, then hopefully it's good. But I'm very excited regardless.
Me too. I actually was a big fan of those Gears of War's games, so I'm excited for all of that stuff.
Excellent, excellent.
That chainsaw gun is just iconic, man. I fucking love that thing.
Dude, the Lancer chainsaw is just it's just fucking awesome. It's so cool. Gears of War is like one of my favorite game franchises of all time. It is my favorite Xbox game franchise of all time. Just huge Gears of War fan, and
Here's a cool fact for you. Back when I played Destiny, during the Destiny 1 years, I played with a guy. I used to raid with him a lot. His name was Dallas, and he actually played Gears of War 3 professionally, so that was pretty cool.
That's cool. All right, next up, a real quick little update. AEW Fight Forever details rumored to be coming during Full Gear. Jeff, we're going to be at Full Gear.
We're what?
We're going to be at Full Gear this
Yes,
next
we
Saturday.
are.
We are. And so we may get some details during the pay-per-view. Maybe we'll get a new trailer while we're at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that would be really cool to get a trailer at the pay-per-view. Maybe like a reveal of a new cover for the game.
I don't know, man. I think they probably will change it, but at the same time, maybe they won't. I think Punk's in the game no matter what. So
Yeah,
and
it's
they want
already
to sell
print.
copies.
The
So
covers have already been printed. I think it's done deal. Yeah.
probably. All right, but that's something to look forward to next week.
Yeah, well, real quick, speaking of the AEW Fight Forever game, we will be heavily playing that game, possibly on this channel and definitely on our Twitch channels. So definitely be looking into that if you're interested in those wrestling games. We will be making our own universe, and chat will have their own characters. It's going to be freaking awesome.
All right. Next up, the Prince of Persia remake update. Not canceled, but Ubisoft is refunding pre-orders. And they're also not committing to a new release window. The following, once again, comes from IGN. Ubisoft has provided an update on the long-delayed Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake, reassuring fans that the game is not canceled. In the update, Ubisoft confirmed the Sands of Time remake is still in development at Ubisoft Montreal. However, Ubisoft has started canceling pre-orders for the game, saying since the game currently doesn't have a release date, existing pre-orders have been canceled and refunded where applicable. The publisher said pre-orders may reopen once the game's new release date is announced. Ubisoft said there are no plans to remake any other Prince of Persia titles at this time. The game was announced back in September 2020. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake has been delayed 3 separate times. Along the way, Ubisoft handed the game off to Ubisoft Montreal, creators of the Sands of Time trilogy. The game was originally in development at Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai. Prince of Persia remake was last delayed out of Ubisoft's fiscal year 23 when it was first announced. It was in development for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and was supposed to cost $39.99. We don't know if those details will change given the delays and additional years of development. So, this is one of those situations that's just not looking very good. So the game's been kind of in development hell. I remember when they first showed it off 2 years ago, I wasn't really impressed with the way the game looked, so that's kind of telling to what's going on, what they don't want you to see. If you can't imagine what they wanted you to see wasn't good, it's not good to imagine what they didn't want you to see. But this is kind of interesting, a real interesting story. You would think kind of remaking an established game. I mean, making games are hard. I'm not going to say they're not. But you would think kind of remaking something that's kind of already have like building blocks to go with wouldn't run into this many struggles. What's your take on this?
Like you said, it definitely does not look good. But also what you said, what you read there really actually made me feel a little bit better about the reasoning behind the refunds. I was just thinking that they were kind of just like, hey, guess what, everybody, you've been refunded. Sorry. But to explain it as like, listen, we don't have a release date. It probably wasn't cool of us to take your pre-orders anyway. Here's your money back. I actually think that's a good move on their part, to be honest.
So, I mean, I agree with you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But I was going to say, but it still doesn't look good.
Yeah. See, I agree with you. But the problem is that games get delayed all the time, and they get delayed by years, even from Ubisoft. Skull and Bones was delayed for 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years. This game was announced in, I believe, 2012, and it still isn't out yet, I believe. Maybe I'm incorrect. I think it was no. Skull and Bones was more announced like 2015. But it's been more than 5 years, and they haven't canceled those pre-orders. So I do think it's kind of a bad look on Prince of Persia. My honest opinion on it, if I had to guess, I feel very strongly that they probably restarted development on this game, and they realized that they were really far out, so they decided to refund people. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, especially if they handed it off to a new studio. If you hand it off to a different studio, I mean, you got to assume that they're restarting development. I mean, that happened with Nintendo, 5 years ago. Metroid Prime 4 was announced before the Switch came out, and they had a team working on it, and the game was not to Nintendo standards, so they basically threw everything out and gave it to Retro, a second-party developer under Nintendo. So, I mean, things like that, when they happen, you got to assume that they restarted development. Again, that's just me going off of my experience as, watching the game industry for however many years I've been doing it, but it's definitely something to take note of.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Speaking of Nintendo, Jeff, the Nintendo Switch, super popular and super successful. Did you have any idea about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find a kid that doesn't own a Switch. I think I own 2, or the wife owns 2. one's technically mine.
All right. Well, the Nintendo Switch sales have crossed 114 million units sold. Sorry. Mario
Wow.
Kart 8 Deluxe nears 50 million units sold.
Yeah, I have that game.
Nintendo, yeah, a lot. Nintendo has, however, lowered its forecast for Switch console sales for the fiscal year. Alongside revealing that Nintendo Switch sales have reached over 114 million and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sales have reached nearly 50 million, the company has also shared it cut the console sales forecast for its current fiscal year by 2 million, which, like, I mean, that's not much considering the 114 million so far.
Yeah.
The news was revealed during Nintendo's fiscal year ending March 2023 6 months earnings release, and the company confirmed it was lowering its forecast after considering production and sales performance factors. Additionally, Nintendo has confirmed it's focusing on continually working to front load production and selecting appropriate transportation methods to prepare for the holiday season. Yeah, so the Nintendo Switch sold a lot of units. Other things that they put in, obviously we talked about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, close to 50 million at 48.41 million. Animal Crossing New Horizons, 40.17 million copies. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 29.53 million. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 27.79 million. And
Nice.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, 25.37 million. Those are your top 5 selling Nintendo Switch titles in the console's lifespan. Now, something interesting, Jeff, that I point out here, Mario Odyssey, not in the top 5. I find that
that's a little shocking, but might have been a niche Mario.
See, I don't think it's necessarily niche. I mean, Nintendo just has really popular franchise. I mean, Breath of the Wild being number 3 is to be expected. Animal Crossing, everyone buys Animal Crossing, everyone buys Mario Kart, everyone, So, I mean, you see Zelda at number 3, that's about where I would put it. And then Smash Brothers, obviously, it's Smash Brothers. But yeah, these are some really strong numbers for Nintendo Switch software sales as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we both have copies of that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Me and Purple have it. I'm sure you have it as well. I think me and Purple both have the Animal Crossing as well. I think all 3 of us own most of what you named.
Yeah, definitely. The Trading Doge says, "Hello, Doge likes games too." I'm glad that
What up, Doge?
What's going on, Doge? All right. Next up in the news, we have a Horizon MMO reportedly in the works. Jeff, have you played the Horizon games?
I have not played them, but I watched Purple play them. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous games.
Yeah, I played the first one. I have the second one. I really want to get around to playing that. But so Sony is said to have partnered with South Korea's NCSoft, whose previous work includes Guild Wars, for the project. The following comes from GameSpot. An MMO RPG set in Guerrilla Games' Horizon universe may be in the works, according to a new report. The news comes from South Korean news site MTN and states that Sony has partnered with South Korean game developer and publisher NCSoft for the project. According to the report, the title is listed as Project H in job ads. NCSoft is best known for its MMO franchises Lineage and Guild Wars. If reports are true, it would make sense why Sony would seek out the developer to build an MMO, especially given Sony's recent desire to add more live service titles to its roster of first-party games. Now, Jeff, you've played more MMO games than I have, admittedly. My experience with MMOs starts and ends with RuneScape.
Okay.
How would you feel about MMO in this world that you've seen the wife play through?
So, I would actually love this. I really enjoy when they take a game that's not a certain genre and they make it into that genre. So I'm really interested to see what they can do with that. Kind of like similar to how Star Wars did it. Star Wars made an MMO and that turned out amazing. So yeah, I definitely would like to see this.
All right. Well, the next story.
It's gonna be beautiful. My God.
Yeah.
Unreal 5 or whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm big fan of Horizon Zero Dawn was just incredible, and I really loved playing it a lot. So
Yeah, and if they build it on the Unreal 5 engine, like I saw somebody take a chunk of the World of Warcraft game, like the world, and they rebuilt it in the Unreal 5, and it was insane. It looked so good.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next news topic. Got some Xbox news here. So, Jeff, are you aware that Microsoft is plans to purchase Activision Blizzard?
I was not aware of that.
Wait, you really weren't aware of that?
No, actually, I did not hear that. Wow.
Man, I'm glad this show started then because you have been living
Yeah.
under a rock, my friend. Well, okay, so let me let me get you up to speed then, real quick.
Yeah.
So this was about 6 or 7 months ago. It was announced that Xbox was acquiring Activision Blizzard for about $70 billion with a B.
Okay.
Um,
Real quick, is this where like the COD news was coming, where they might be going like exclusive to Xbox? Is that where that like came from?
so that's where the big thing is right now with everyone thinking Call of Duty is going to exclusive to Xbox. It's
Okay.
not going exclusive to Xbox.
No,
And
no,
I
I'm
will
just saying, like I did hear those rumors, so
Yeah.
okay.
So let me explain this to you. Basically, um, Microsoft is trying to heavily invest in its gaming portfolio. Game Pass is their business model. Excuse me. And they want to support it. And what better way to support the Game Pass model than make it so things like Call of Duty, are and Overwatch. Well, Overwatch is free to play now, but those games are are available on Game Pass. And not just that, but you're adding to your portfolio. Think of all the Activision games, like the IPs that exist. We're talking like Spyro, Crash,
Oh,
you know,
love Spyro.
like all of these things that belong to Activision. Xbox can start making new games, and Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has said that he will be making games with these IP. Um, but so long story short, obviously an acquisition of this size takes a long time. So there have been a lot of regulations, a lot of governments need to approve the purchase, this, that, and the third. While it did meet some challenging here in the States, it generally wasn't too much of an issue. However, in Europe, the European Commission have decided to open an in-depth investigation into the Xbox and Activision Blizzard deal. So this news story is kind of an update to a story that broke a week or two ago. And basically, the European Union has expressed concern over Microsoft purchasing Activision, um, with the concern that it would hurt consumers and hurt competition. Um,
What's their
basically,
basis?
so basically, PlayStation, Sony, they have been on the warpath, being there is a cold war being fought in the video
Yeah.
game landscape nowadays, Jeff. So Sony is trying to avoid Xbox from purchasing Activision Blizzard. Sony likes to throw money towards Activision to keep things exclusive. Call of Duty has had exclusive content, exclusive betas for years now. Final Fantasy VII Remake still hasn't come to Xbox, even though the game was never listed as a PS5 or PlayStation exclusive. It was listed as a timed exclusive. Well, it's been out for 3 years and still hasn't come to Xbox. PlayStation loves throwing money around to get these exclusive things, and then you have Xbox here. Like, I think really at the end of the day, they're just trying to avoid that edge that PlayStation is kind of securing.
Yeah.
And so basically, Brazil cleared the transaction, where Brazil had said, and excuse me if I'm kind of skipping through this because
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to get you completely caught up to speed with it. But Brazil approved the acquisition and took a shot at the European Union, saying that it is in the best interest of consumers, that, like, it wasn't an issue for consumers. Brazil, basically, their statement was along the lines of, the European Union should be more concerned with assisting consumers, not competitors.
Yeah.
And Jim Ryan has been very vocal, saying like this, that, and the third about like how Xbox is gonna take it away. It's gonna take it away. It's not good business. And Phil Spencer has said publicly, Microsoft has said publicly they have filed legal paperwork in response to the European Union and to Sony and PlayStation. PlayStation is the gaming leader in the marketplace. Xbox is fourth in the gaming marketplace. It would not create a vacuum. It would not create a monopoly. And Xbox has said that Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. Xbox purchased Minecraft over 5 years ago, and the places you can play Minecraft have gotten, like, the amount of places have grown,
yeah,
not diminished. So basically, this is kind of you could tell that Sony is trying to keep their grip on it, and they are fighting it. The European Union has decided that they are going to be putting, the European Commission is opening an in-depth investigation, however. The European Commission is putting Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard under the microscope. Announced last week, the European Commission has opened an in-depth investigation for the business proposal. According to the press release, the Commission is concerned with the deal may reduce competition in the markets for video games and PCs, which is funny because Xbox operates through PC, so that's not even, like, that's just not a thing. All Xbox games come to PC, regardless of exclusive or not. Anyways, the Commission has until March 23rd of next year to make a decision. Specifically, the Commission mentioned concerns surrounding Call of Duty in the following statement. In particular, the Commission is concerned that by acquiring Activision Blizzard, Microsoft may foreclose access to Activision Blizzard's console and PC video games, especially to high-profile and highly successful games, so-called AAA games, such as Call of Duty. End of statement. Ever since officials started looking into the proposed merger, Microsoft has repeatedly shared intentions publicly to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation consoles. The latest reassurance from Xbox Phil Spencer came just last week, where he said Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation, begin quotes, as long as there's a PlayStation to ship to, end quotes.
Nice.
In fact, Xbox official response to the European Commission investigation even mentioned Call of Duty. In a statement from Microsoft's spokesperson to The Verge's Tom Warren, Microsoft said, Sony, as the industry leader, said it is worried about Call of Duty, but we've said we are committed to making the same game available on the same day on both Xbox and PlayStation.
Awesome.
The European Commission's release also mentions it will investigate the acquisition's potential impact on video game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Finally, the Commission will also investigate if Microsoft's acquisition would discourage users to buy non-Windows PCs if Microsoft were to combine Activision Blizzard's games and Microsoft's distribution of games via cloud game streaming to Windows. That's ridiculous because Xbox has been releasing their games on Steam, which, to my knowledge, you can get on any PC device.
Here, real quick, I got to take care of something real quick. Just keep going. I'll be right back.
Sure. The concerns from the European Union are similar to those of the UK government, which recently asked for public opinion on the matter. Microsoft's enormous purchase has also come under fire from multiple US senators in New York City and the US Justice Department. Through the entire review process, Spencer has said he feels good about the acquisition's progress. So, the European Commission, they're trying to open up this investigation. Honestly, this investigation is completely ridiculous. It's just a joke, to be honest. I mean, does not create a monopoly. Xbox wants Call of Duty on all consoles. In fact, you'll probably see, once the acquisition is complete, you'll probably see Call of Duty on the Switch as well. It's just really a laughable, just insane, fight that PlayStation is really putting up here. They are really trying to make it seem like there's an issue. And I just think that that's something else. I mean, I really am excited to see Xbox take over Activision Blizzard. There have been so many issues in Activision, in that company, from sexual harassment, sexual assault, to just so many other issues. Like, let Xbox revive these dead franchises. Like, let's get a new fucking Spyro game. Let's get a new Crash Bandicoot game. Let's get a new Guitar Hero. You know what I mean? Like, let's get these games and let's enjoy them.
Yeah, new Guitar Hero would be sick.
Now, Jeff, I'm glad that you're rejoining me because last night, so this was put into my notes earlier last week. Last night, I came across, or maybe it was a Thursday night, I came across a tweet that I just really wanted to share. That kind of coincides with what I'm talking about, how I feel like there is definitely some bias going on here, and it's very incorrect, in my opinion.
Okay.
So the following tweet is from Ricardo Cardoso, who you might not know the name. In fact, you probably don't know the name. He is a member of this commission that is investigating. And he
Okay.
has a tweet, and I'm going to read this tweet to you, Jeff, and I'm going to let you see if you can pick up on what the problem is here. Okay?
Yeah.
The commission is working to ensure that you will still be able to play Call of Duty on other consoles, including my PlayStation. Also, on our to-do list, update stock pictures. These gamers have wired controllers, whereas Xbox and PlayStation have wireless ones since about 2006. And the picture from the commission is them playing with wired controllers. But Jeff, did you see what did you pick up on what the problem was in the tweet?
I heard the word stocks in there. Is that
Okay, let me get rid of him talking about stock pictures because he was talking about like stock pictures.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I didn't put that as pictures. I was thinking of like stocks, like money wise.
Yeah, let me read the relevant part of the tweet again.
Yeah, yeah.
The commission is working to ensure that you will still be able to play Call of Duty on other consoles, including my PlayStation.
You can already play it on all other consoles and my PlayStation, right?
He's talking like so. A lot of people have been pointing out that this guy made this tweet, um, by saying like his PlayStation. Like a lot of people are saying like, oh, so like that indicates bias. The fact that he's
Oh,
talking about
okay.
like I want to make sure that my PlayStation
Oh, I
is
see what you're saying. Okay, okay.
yeah. So like a lot of people have been pretty upset about that. 4 days later, he followed up by saying that he actually isn't on the commission itself. He just kind of like is part of that group. It's like
Gotcha.
so like it was
Kind of
kind
like
of
if you were overseeing an election and you were part of that election. Yeah, I gotcha.
yeah, it's yes, basically. um so really interesting story there. We're going to continue to monitor it. I do think that everything's going to go through. And my response to the argument, like, well, what about PlayStation Plus? What about that service? My advice would be, well, maybe Sony should make that service a better service. Because,
Yeah.
look, full transparency for the viewers at home, in case you don't know me and know about my gaming habits. I currently own an Xbox Series X, a Nintendo Switch, and a PS5. I play a lot of different games. I know you don't see it because you see the Nintendo games behind me, but my Xbox games are right there, and my PlayStation games are off camera over there. I play everything, and I want everything to be great. That being said, I think PlayStation Plus fucking sucks. I
I
have
mean,
it. I have all three of the memberships. I have PlayStation Plus, I have Nintendo Switch Online, and I have Xbox Game Pass. Game Pass is the best of the three. PlayStation is the worst of the three. So the
no,
concern about PlayStation Plus not being very good, I don't think that Call of Duty not being, being owned by Xbox but still being on PlayStation is not the end of the world for their subscription service.
no, I agree with that. But real quick, so with the PlayStation Plus, that's what you have to play online with PlayStation, right? Or is that just PlayStation Online?
So it's a tiered membership. Yeah, the lowest tier is what you need to play online. But when I say
Okay.
PlayStation Plus as a service, I'm more so referring to the deluxe and premium editions. I own the premium, the highest tier of the PlayStation stuff. I also own Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So I'm looking at this from an even ground. PlayStation Plus
Yeah.
sucks. It's just not a good service, and I'm not going to knock Xbox for wanting to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. Like that's just
No. And you should be judging your service by like, if I didn't need it to be online, would I still buy it? And for PlayStation Plus, no. I mean,
no.
it's the only reason I have it is because I have to have it to play online.
Yeah. See, when the service first came out, I'm always trying to be fair. So I was able to get a discount because there was like a glitch where you could buy PS Now when that was still a thing, and then it would convert. So basically, I paid half price for the premium for either a year or 2 years, a little while ago. So I got a pretty good deal on it. but I wanted to give it a shot to see how good it was. And so far, I've played one game on the service since it launched in June. Xbox Game Pass, I've played a lot of games. I actually keep a log of the games I play in a year, which I'm going to save for a future episode of this podcast.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, it'll be a fun time. It's going to be a real
Like
fun topic.
like Chris Jericho's book of his matches he kept on.
Kinda. I mean, here I'll tell you this. So I'm not going to go over the whole list, but I like to log it just for my own fun. Jeff, how many games do you think that I've like played / beaten / completed this year? Just give me a guess.
I'm gonna go with the Orange Cassidy number of 75.
Not quite, but 42
42. Okay, wow.
in this year alone, 2022.
That's a good amount. Like, and these are all like single player, like just random all types of games.
Yeah, some of them are single player, some of them are shorter games, some of them are longer games. I break them down by month as well. Again, that's going to be a future episode to kind of go through this, kind of like a year recap. It'll be a fun topic, but that's just
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, I play a lot of Xbox Game Pass games. In the past month, I've played. So in October, I played one, admittedly, but that's just October. Like I could go back further if I wanted to. But anyways, moving on. Control 2 has been officially announced by Remedy Entertainment. The following comes from their website. Remedy Entertainment signs a co-development and co-publishing agreement with 505 Games for Control 2.
So, forgive me, what was Control 1? I'm not familiar with this series.
So Control was a very popular game, successful game that came out. Are you aware of the Alan Wake games?
The name definitely sounds familiar, yes.
Oh, right. We played Video Game 20 Questions and you didn't know Alan Wake.
That's what one of them was. Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so basically Remedy has made the Max Payne games. They made Alan Wake. They're currently working on Alan Wake 2. And they also made Control. Control is a very good game, Jeff. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. Came out a few years back.
Okay.
Basically, this was a press release that said that the next one is coming. Very excited for this.
Nice.
I would recommend it, Jeff. If you haven't played it seriously, I would say definitely play Control. It's a very good game.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right. Next up, Halo Infinite. The winter update has finally launched, and fans are extremely happy with the results.
They are.
The winter update for Halo Infinite has arrived. This is the largest update to Halo Infinite yet, bringing with it a number of highly anticipated experiences, such as campaign co-op, mission replay, the Forge beta, and a plethora of new free content for all players. Bungie 343 wants to acknowledge and thank their players who have stuck by them and provided feedback to improve the overall Halo Infinite experience. The winter update marks a big step forward for all of them. So, let's dive into everything you can play in the game today. Just to give a quick rundown, like it said itself, campaign, network co-op, and mission replay are there. There's some new achievements added. The Forge beta, which a lot of people have been really excited for. These are the updates that people were really looking forward to. Halo Infinite launched last year, and I played it. I really enjoyed the campaign. The multiplayer was good. Not my favorite Halo multiplayer, but I still enjoyed it. I think that, so I've been on Twitter, and a lot of the Halo community super excited about this stuff. I mean, we've been waiting for co-op campaign. I have people who want to play the campaign with me. I'm really happy to see Halo Infinite get this stuff. 343 kind of has dealt with some issues in-house leading up to Halo Infinite and post-launch. So it's good to see Halo Infinite kind of get some new life put into it.
Yeah, now speaking of that Forge beta, I actually did get a chance to check out Dr. Disrespect messing around in the Forge beta. If you don't know, Dr. Disrespect actually owns his own gaming company now. It's called Midnight Society, and they are creating what they're calling the next AAA game. It's going to be a vertical type game. I think it looks really good so far. It's in its bare bones, but he did try out this Halo Infinite Forge mode. And right away, it was really, really intricate. Like, you can build your own map from scratch. Like, you could delete the ground that they give you and start with nothing and build a gigantic, map of your own. So it looks really cool. I'd like to see what some old Minecraft, you know, those Minecraft dudes that could build like real stuff that was insane. I want to see what they can do with this. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, Forge has always been a really integral part to the Halo community. I mean, ever since they added Forge, it's always been, it's always been something important. Griff Ball and just all the things that were created from through the Forge. It's awesome, and I'm really happy to see them get this out along with the co-op campaign. As somebody who really enjoys campaigns, that's something that's really big to me. And them adding achievements on, obviously, I'm a big achievement guy, so I'll probably jump back into that at some point.
Nice.
All right, so we have two more little news things. The first one might be considered cheating from gaming, but there is a gaming tie to it, so I wanted to mention it. Kevin Conroy, the voice of a generation of Batman, passed away over this past week. He was 66. Obviously, Kevin Conroy, that's the Batman I grew up with. Obviously, we had the live action movies, but like when I think of the voice of Batman, it was so just intertwined with the character to the point that like when they do these live action Batmans, like I end up kind of comparing them to, that's the one I compare them to. Kind of same with the Joker
Absolutely.
with Mark Hamill. Like it's such an iconic voice. And again, there is a gaming tie in here where Kevin Conroy, again, just being the absolute fucking legend that he was, he voiced Batman in the Arkham games, which are just phenomenal games. So yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, that was a big one for me, man. I grew up with Batman the Animated Series as probably one of my favorite cartoons of all time.
Yeah.
Um, that has my favorite version of just about everyone. That's my favorite version of the Joker. It's my favorite version of Batman. It's easily my favorite version of Harley Quinn. Like it's not even close for that. Um, yeah, that was he was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah, super upsetting. Again, this is going to remain a mainly gaming podcast. But there was a cheat in there with the Arkham game, so I figured I would just mention it, and rest in peace to Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
All right, the last news. A little bit of a downer there. Let's end with a really big positive, Jeff. And I don't know if this is going to affect you as much as it affected me. Goddamn it, I fucking teared up when I found out about this. Ash Ketchum has become the greatest Pokemon master, capping off a 25-year adventure in our time. Jeff, did you grow up watching Pokemon?
Absolutely. I'm showing off the tattoos right now.
Did you hear about this?
I did not.
So in the show, they were doing a tournament with all of the champions of all of the regions in the tournament. And Ash won the finals, defeating Leon, the Sword and Shield champion.
What? I did get to see Ash win his first tournament a while ago where he won I think it was the Alola tournament.
Yeah, it was the Alola tournament.
I gotta see this.
Now, this hasn't released in dub yet. Admittedly, I have been out on the Pokemon show for a few years now. However, this definitely is something that makes me want to catch up. Um, like again, it's kind of almost emotional. Like I'm even sitting here about it now, thinking about like again watching as a kid, watching Pokemon, watching Ash Ketchum start in Pallet Town. Like you feel like that's like a character that I grew up with. So to see him kind of reach that peak and be named the greatest Pokemon trainer, and it wasn't like he lucked into this. Like he went into this tournament with all of the best in the world, and he beat all of he won. He beat the tournament. He won the tournament. So it's a totally silly little thing, but really fucking cool moment. Really awesome. Really happy. Hopefully, I would kind of like to see them actually retire Ash then, and like start a new character. Excuse me.
I mean, I'm so glad you said this because now I really want to go see that. I'm hyped right now. That's so
Yeah,
I can't
again,
wait.
I really I want to get back into the show. I think at some point soon I might start back with the first season and like not in one sitting because there's like there's 25 years of show, but like just casually watch it as trying to get caught up. But yeah, super awesome, super fucking awesome news that came out on Friday. And that is it for the gaming news roundup, Jeff. So Jeff, how did you feel about those headlines?
I thought we did a good job, man. I thought you had some good stuff in there. Very interesting topics. You know,
Yeah.
very nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
All right. So the next segment that we are going to do here on the Game Room podcast, again, so the plan in general is that this podcast will release Monday nights. And not only are we going to do the news headlines to get you caught up for this week, we're also going to take a look forward with game releases. So, Jeff,
Yeah.
here are the game releases for the week of November 14th through November 19th.
Go.
Up first, we have Pentiment coming out on Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. This is on November 15th. Now, this game is from Obsidian, so it is a first-party Xbox title. It is debuting day one on Game Pass, which is a phenomenal service. November's got a few really nice Game Pass games coming out. This game they showed off at their summer showcase this past June. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Next up, we have Smurfs Kart for the Nintendo Switch coming out on November 15th. Look, man, this is the releases. I'm just going off the release.
Yeah, you don't control what's coming out. I got you.
Right. Next up is Somerville, also on November 15th. Now, this is also a game that's coming on Xbox Series consoles and PC, coming to Game Pass day one. Somerville is from the co-creators of Limbo and Inside. This game looks fucking incredible. The premise seems to be, again, I don't know the whole game because it hasn't come out yet, but based off the trailer, the premise seems to be about an alien invasion and you trying to keep your family safe from the aliens.
Okay.
Have you played Inside or Limbo?
I don't believe so. I'm not even sure I've heard of that one.
Those are phenomenal games. I'm smelling a topic for a show of 101 games Jeff needs to play.
Yeah, for real. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, we'll probably do something like that eventually. Also on November 15th, Ys 9 look. Oh wow, look at this first one where I'm struggling. Lacrimosa of Dana for the PS5. Ys is a pretty long-standing franchise. Coming out on November 16th for PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, we have Call of Duty Warzone 2, free to play on all consoles except for Switch. Very excited for that. I think next week's show's topic will probably be a little bit about that, probably at least, but we'll see what happens.
Yep, definitely. There's also a new World of Warcraft expansion coming out on the 16th, so we'll probably talk about that as well.
Nice. Goat Simulator 3 comes out on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles along with PC on November 17th. The Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales PC port comes out on November 18th. A game called PID comes out on the Switch on November 18th. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet both release on the Switch on November 18th as well. Resident Evil 3 is coming to the Switch on November 18th. I'm going to assume that that's the remake, not the original. And then lastly, on November 18th, the Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me, will release on the PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Jeff, have you ever played the Dark Pictures games?
The Dark Pictures games, I feel like I might have, but it is definitely not ringing a bell.
I think we did that. That was the one we did Video Game 20 Questions on, and you also did not get that one.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good games. They're kind of like, they're from the creators of Until Dawn. You played that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that, which is really good, really fun games. Well, that is the releases for next week. Jeff, does anything stick out to you there that you're going to want to play or pick up?
Goat Simulator 3, maybe?
Okay. Me personally, I'm actually really excited for next week. Pentiment's going to be awesome. Somerville's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to get into Warzone 2. Hopefully it's better than Warzone 1.
Yeah.
Not a fan
of
Warzone
2, obviously. I'm going to be super excited. We're going to be playing that. Pretty sure we're going to be squadding up with Coach. Like, that's got to happen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
And then, of course, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm really excited for these games. I think they look just fantastic. So I'm very excited for these new Pokemon games.
Now, I do want to mention something about Warzone 2 that I'm not sure everybody is aware of here. There is a new game mode coming called DMZ. Yep. And in this game mode, it's PvP and PvE. So you actually fight against AI like you're doing a combat mission, and you can pick up their weapons, which could be better or worse than what you already have. And
Hmm.
then it's got a little bit of Escape from Tarkov mixed into it. You got to pick up some items that are worth money, and you got to carry them with you, and you got to extract from the map. So it was really cool to see this new. It was like on the same map as Warzone, and it was a completely different way to play. The battle royale type format. So I'm probably gonna be playing DMZ pretty heavy. I like that. It looks good.
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to, excited to give it a try. Warzone 2, even the base battle royale, will also have AI enemies on the map in the form of strongholds. Um,
Hey,
so you'll be able to do that as well. But yeah,
I'll
I'm
actually get
very
some
excited.
kills.
So yeah, I'm a big Call of Duty Battle Royale fan. Well, half M. I mean, what I want it to be, I think, is excellent. Um, Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit in the next topic.
Okay.
All right, so now we're on to the main topic of the show, Jeff. Now, obviously, this is the first episode of the Game Room, so I figured basically so you guys understand what this topic will be. Each and every week, we're gonna pick a topic to talk about. It could be a review of a game that's come out that I've been playing or Jeff's been playing. It could be a big, huge, massive news story that we want to like put a lot of time into. It could also be a top 10 list. It could be a tier list. It could be a game that we're maybe like a guessing game, or maybe we play 20 questions. Just something fun.
Yeah.
In this first episode, I figured what better topic to start with than an introduction of sorts to, us as gamers. Obviously for those for those of you who are on the channel know who we are as wrestling fans. Um, I figured let's talk about our gaming interests. So I've made some questions, Jeff. Are you ready for the questions?
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm also going to be answering these questions, but obviously you don't have the list in front of you.
Yeah.
So Jeff, what's your gaming story? Tell me about how you got into gaming. Tell me like anything notable you want to talk about as your life as a gamer.
All right. So I'm gonna start with we'll start with the game that made me fall in love with gaming in general, which is gonna be the original Doom on the PC. I somehow convinced my dad to let me download this game, and the from the moment I fired that first shotgun into that first demon's face, man, I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And of course I had a regular Nintendo as a young kid as well. Like, I was born in the 80s, so I did have a Nintendo and stuff like that. But I never got like hardcore into gaming until that Doom moment. That just that shotgun to the face moment. I was like, "Yes, this is it. I love it." But the bigger story for me would actually be how I met my wife, Purpleness. She's not in chat tonight, but she will be, in the future. So I heavily played World of Warcraft for a few years. I just happened to meet her on the game and invited her to my guild. A year went by of her just hanging out with us in the guild and playing the game together, and I wound up flying out here to surprise her for her graduating college. Her dad let me stay at the house and everything, and long story short, we are now married for, I think we're coming up on 3 or 4 years of being actually married, and we have been together for 11. So that's my big time gaming story there. Met my wife on World of Warcraft.
Awesome, man. I love to hear stuff like that. Like I've made plenty of lifelong friends online. Didn't mean my wife online, but um yeah, just making lifelong friends. I have when I got married, and obviously you were there, but when I got married, there were people that were at your table, Jeff, that I had met on Xbox, like that
Oh
I had.
snap, that's crazy.
Yeah, like maybe I don't know. It was a few years ago, so I don't know if maybe
Yeah.
you got. I wasn't there, so maybe they told that story or they didn't. But like, yeah, like there were people at your table at my wedding that were from Connecticut that I didn't know. I've made lifelong friends. I have some people in Ohio that they go on. He goes on vacation every year, and most years he stops here in Philly, and we hang out, go out to eat, grabs, do something fun. But yeah, I just love that gaming can bring people together.
Yeah, it's really cool that you mentioned that some people were there at your wedding. So at our wedding, we actually had a few people from my Twitch channel as well. So that was actually pretty cool.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, it's just so much fun meeting like-minded people and just, getting to know them and stuff like that. It's something really cool about it. All right, well, my gaming story. So I got into gaming thanks to a magical Christmas in the late 90s. So I had this friend that lived about 7 or 8 houses up the block. And, we would hang out, she and I, we went to the same school. So, we weren't in the same class, but, we were on the same block. So we would hang out after school. Now her stepbrother lived between both of his parents. And for that week leading up to Christmas, it was about a week before Christmas, week and a half before Christmas. Um, and I remember we were playing outside and it was really cold. And she said, "My stepbrother his stuff is here, but he went out with some friends. He said that we could play his Nintendo 64 if you'd like." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't really know what that is, but sure, let's go inside and play this Nintendo 64."
Great
So
console.
we go inside and she puts a cartridge in, turns on turns on the console, and there on the screen is a hero in green riding a horse across a field while a beautiful piano medley is playing. And that game was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And kind of like you said, the shotgun to the face, like just hitting start and just like getting into it and just like starting within like about 3 minutes, I was just the hooks were in. And I just couldn't believe it. We played that for like an hour, 2 hours. It felt like forever, but it was only like an hour, 2 hours, I think. And then she's like, "Well, I have another game we can play too, um, if you'd like." And I was like, like I'm already blown away, so I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, whatever." So she takes Ocarina of Time out, puts in another cartridge, turns it on, and I hear it's a me, Mario, and Mario 64. And once again, in a completely different way, just the hooks, like walking around this castle, jumping into Bomb-On Battlefield, and like it's magic. Like it's just magic. Like how like I just, and obviously youth, nostalgia like embellishes everything, but I just remember that so fondly. And I remember going home that night and telling my parents like, just like, I'm fucking, my life's changed forever. I was like, I went over to my friend's house and played Ocarina. It probably sounded like a kid. Like, I played Ocarina of Time. I played Zelda, this game called Zelda and Mario. And they were just like, "That's nice." So then the next day, woke up, I think it was a weekend, if I recall, went back over their house and played those two games all day. Went home, told my parents, did it 2 more days in a row after school. Really leading up to Christmas Eve. I think I was there 6 days in a row playing these two games. Um, and then so that Christmas that year, I don't know how they fucking did it because it was such short notice. Like I don't know if they had it planned or like they really like I don't know what they did. But that Christmas I got a Nintendo 64 with Ocarina of Time, Mario 64. I also got Donkey Kong 64. And then also like they fucking just decided to go all out. This is a crazy story. They also got me a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Damn.
I know. I don't. Part of me wonders if the plan was to get the Game Boy. I never asked them. I probably should ask. They probably don't remember. But I feel like the plan was probably in hindsight to get me the Game Boy because Pokemon was really big at the time. But then I wouldn't shut the fuck up about this Nintendo 64. So my mom was probably like, to my dad, "Eric, you need to go out and get this fucking Nintendo 64." um, but yeah, and that was just the most incredible moment. And hooks have been in ever since, and I've loved gaming ever since. Just yeah, I have some other stories I'm gonna tell. I do have plans for a future topic about Christmases. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been a Nintendo kid. Um, picked up Xbox and PlayStation. Picked up PlayStation first technically, but Xbox really kind of reinvigorated my love with kind of more mature gaming tones and stuff like that. Um, so yeah.
So real quick, I'm glad you mentioned the Ocarina of Time because that's actually another one of the first games that I ever really, really got into. I didn't have a Nintendo 64, but there was a Target right across the street from my house,
Mm.
and they had a permanent like Nintendo 64 station where you could play Ocarina of Time the full game. It wasn't just a 5-minute demo,
Oh wow.
and I spent hours just going to Target like it was an arcade, and they didn't care. They let me stand there. I had to stand there and play it looking up, but I did it.
Yeah, just yeah. And again, that story, and I was a dumb kid. Like that's the sad thing. Like I didn't beat Ocarina of Time as a child. I didn't beat it for like 5 or 6 years. Like
Oh yeah,
I was not a smart kid. Like I look back on those days. Like Mario 64, beat it no problem. Like because it was very like it was more skill based, not like figuring out puzzles based. But like Ocarina of Time, like I was just a dumb kid. I was like, I don't know where to
yeah.
go. I'm just like, okay.
As a kid, I never really had an urge to beat games. I just wanted to run around and kill stuff and play the game. It wasn't until I hit like my teens that I wanted to like beat the game, you know?
Yeah, well, I think Pokemon kind of instilled that in me where like so I consider myself well, there's a question coming up, so I don't want to talk about it too much. Um but yeah, I mean Pokemon definitely kind of like made me shift that focus where it's like let's beat games. Like let's finish them. Let's get through and see
Yeah.
everything the game has to offer. Um but yeah. All right. The next question, Jeff. Very simple one. What's your favorite video game of all time?
I knew this question was coming, and this
And
is
for the record,
really
you are allowed to give some like you can give like close seconds because I'm gonna give a close second. But
okay. So, I mean, for me, it's tough to narrow it down to one, but obviously, because it's how I met my wife, I think I would put World of Warcraft at number one. But a close second, which is purely from the gameplay and the experience that I had in the time I played this game, was Destiny 1. Um, Specifically the what was it called? It was the expansion, the Witch King, I believe, is what it was called. That raid in particular, just that particular raid, is one of the funnest experiences in any video game I've ever had.
okay, nice, nice, nice. All right, so I'm gonna give you, my favorite game of all time with a close second. And then I'm also gonna give an honorable mention to my favorite multiplayer game of all time because I want to mention it.
Okay.
So my favorite game overall of all time, including single player, multiplayer, is The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. I love this game so much. It took Ocarina of Time. I think Ocarina of Time is a more grand adventure, but Majora's Mask is just the stories it tells and just the feelings it conveys. The gameplay is near perfect. It's just a game that I always look forward to playing. It's a game that I probably play at least once a year. Um,
I wish you had your
However,
mask statue behind you. That thing's incredible.
I know. Yeah, it's literally the most expensive gaming piece of gaming item that I own. Period. Like there
It's
is
huge.
nothing more
It's
expensive that I own than this. It's a $600 Majora's Mask statue.
like the size of a beach ball.
It's a full size, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love it so much. Now the second place, and it's a very close second. And this is cheating because it's one of those things where depending on when you ask me, the answer between these two can change. And it's going to be like, of course, Rome is saying this. I mean, he's, you know what I mean? My second favorite is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And
Okay.
a lot of people sometimes are like, Twilight Princess, what do you mean? Like, that's kind of a little bit more divisive against some Zelda fans. And I feel like Twilight Princess took what Ocarina of Time did and just did it better. I think that Twilight Princess tells a much darker story, which is something that I've come to really enjoy. Much like Majora's Mask, I guess I just enjoy that darker tone to Zelda. But like fucking perfect game. Have you played either of these games, Jeff?
Yes, I played a little bit of each one of them. You know, that was kind of in the time of gaming where I was bouncing around games constantly. But yeah, I played a little bit of each.
Yeah, I would like to make you play them someday, fully.
So, funny story with Zelda. Let me throw one more in here. So, it's kind of funny when I tell people what one of my favorite Zelda games is. The Minish Cap. I
Okay.
freaking loved that game, dude.
Yeah.
Just the idea that the hat was alive, I was like, I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah, Minish Cap is really cool. That's a nice little niche pick right there. I like that.
Yeah,
That's good. Game Boy Advance. Wow, look at that.
yeah.
Um, Now, so for my favorite multiplayer game, because I want to mention it, because I really love it. If you ask me to pick my top 10 games of all time, I don't know if it makes the list. But honorable mention, favorite multiplayer game of all time, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Specifically, Blackout Battle Royale. Um,
Absolutely.
when I say that, like, that's my shit. Like, I just love it. I love that form of Battle Royale. I love the strategic of it, the tactical of it. It's the smoothest playing Call of Duty game, including since, as much as I love Modern Warfare 2, the one that just came out, I think Black Ops 4 had the smoothest but tightest gameplay, gunplay, you name it. But so, yeah, those are my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I love that you said Blackout there, because for me, Blackout is the best battle royale that's ever
Yes,
been made. Its
absolutely.
biggest downfall is you had to pay to get it, and it was console locked. Like you couldn't crossplay. So if they had made Blackout free to play for everyone and cross console, it would have been. It was better than Warzone in every way.
Yeah, it's 100% better than Warzone.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Jeff, what is your favorite video game genre?
Um, I would definitely say first person shooters. That is mostly what I play, and yeah, Overwatch, COD, Destiny was first person. Yeah, first person shooter.
So for me, as much as I love first-person shooters, and I really love first-person shooters, this is kind of funny based off our video game 20 questions. My favorite genre is the action-adventure genre. It's the genre that I would technically consider Zelda. I play like games like the rebooted Tomb Raiders. Just that's just one that comes to mind. But just those third-person action-adventure games, Assassin's Creeds, before they became like Uber RPGs, just games like that. Like I really love that third person type gameplay in an action adventure setting with some sprinkled in RPG elements too. I love RPGs as well.
Yeah.
All right, next question, Jeff. I'm gonna twist your arm a little bit here. You got to pick one.
Okay.
Favorite console of all time?
It's actually pretty easy for me. PS4.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's because that's where Destiny 1 is, and it's just where my Twitch streaming started. All that stuff. I started streaming like from the Twitch play or from the PlayStation itself. So yeah, PlayStation 4 for me.
So I'm gonna say the GameCube.
Nice.
I love the GameCube. Obviously, like, well, number one, as a huge Zelda fan, I love that technically I have Ocarina of Time for my GameCube, Wind Waker for my GameCube, Twilight Princess for my GameCube. Technically, there's a port of Majora's Mask on the GameCube, even though it sucks. Um, Other than Zelda, like, I just think there's so many excellent, fantastic games on the GameCube. And granted, there are other consoles that I fucking love, like the N64 I love, but like, let's be real, there's like 12, there's like what, like 20 games on there I love. My GameCube collection is the largest Nintendo collection I own. I also
Final
really,
Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
yep, I do
Yeah.
have that. I have that on the GameCube.
Love that
Um,
game.
and then like a real close second is I really love my Xbox Series X. Um,
I'm sure you do.
no, I do because like there's like it plays all the older games. I think that's kind of where like I like
Yeah.
it's a cheat because Xbox is really big on the backwards compatibility. So like I have original Xbox library I play there, my 360 games I play on there, my Xbox One games. I'm like my entire Xbox life I can play on my Series X. So that's why it's a close second for me. But that's just, disclaimer, I never owned a PS1. My PS2 I had, it was very limited. I only owned 4 games because I was a child. PS3 I didn't have. PS4 I had, but I didn't play a lot of. I
Can
like my PS5 though. I'm
can
happy.
you answer this for me? Was the original Resident Evil on PS1 or PS2? I want to
PS1.
say it
It
was
was
PS1,
PS1.
right? Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. It was on PS1 because Resident Evil 2 was on the N64 and the PlayStation.
So I'm gonna admit something here real quick. Might be a little embarrassing, but
Mhm.
I got my first PlayStation 1. The game that I got with it for some reason, because we bought it from another kid who had it, was
Sure.
Resident Evil 1. I was all excited to play. Dude, it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was Friday night. No more school tomorrow. I turned the game on. About 3 minutes in, you find a zombie eating somebody
Yeah,
on the ground,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
just turns and he looks at you. I was like, power button. Nope, done.
That's
I quit. I didn't play
hilarious.
that game for like 3 years.
That's amazing.
It scared the bejesus out of me, dude.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love stories like that. Um, all right.
Uh,
All right, Jeff. I don't know if you have an answer for this one. So if you don't, that's fine. What is a really popular game everyone seems to love, but you don't like?
Oh man. I actually know that there's one of these. I just have to think of what it was here. Here, give us yours real quick. I got to remember what this is because I know there is one for me.
So my pick, if you like, I think I kind of alluded to it earlier. I hate, and I'm just hate Call of Duty Warzone 1. I
Okay.
despise it. I think it's like the way we talk about Blackout being the best battle royale. Like I don't like Fortnite, but like I would rather play Fortnite than play Warzone. I don't like Warzone. I felt like it took a lot of what made a battle royale special out of battle royale and just made it multiplayer on a huge map. I don't like respawning on a battle royale game, so I don't like the gulag. I don't like loadouts. I hate loadouts. I'm really not happy that loadouts are back in Warzone 2. Um, I don't think that the Warzone maps were very well made. I thought Verdansk was too empty. I thought Caldera was too vertical. Rebirth was fun on Blackout because of just how the looting worked. But well, at the time it was called Alcatraz. But Rebirth itself sucks, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I know Coach Nick. I don't know if Coach Nick is going to listen to the game room or not, but Rebirth sucks. It took away looting. It took away attachments. Like it literally is just a step backwards for battle royale. So as much as people love Warzone 1, fucking hate Warzone 1.
So I did think of what it was, and it's probably going to be a pretty hot take here,
Mhm.
but it's the Last of Us games. I don't know what it is. I've tried to play it. I've watched people play it. Just something about it just bores the ever living daylights out of me. I don't know why. Because I love
I mean,
things like The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like a little Walking Dead-ish, and I don't know. It just never grabbed on, and I'm just like, I don't see it. People are like, "This is the greatest game of all time," and I'm like, "Whoa, dude!
yeah,
Whoa,
I
whoa!"
see. I think that's a little. I agree with you. I think that's a little much. I played the first one, really love it. I love the first one.
Yeah.
Second one, I haven't played, but that game seems very divisive based off what people have said about it.
Okay.
So I can understand your take on that one. First one though, that is a little surprising because that's a pretty damn good game. That's a great game.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe I've done it one too many times, like in the Resident Evil world of like, all right, let's go survive and pick up items here and there, and stuff's gonna jump out at me all the time. That might be it, but you know.
Okay. All right, next question. I feel like I know the answer to this one for you and me. I know my answer obviously. What game would you say you've spent the most amount of time on?
That's actually easy. The World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I realized halfway through this, I was like, it's probably going to be WoW. Um,
Although WoW doesn't tell me my hours spent, I'm just assuming
oh yeah.
Overwatch might be a close second because I have like 300 something hours on.
So mine is Blackout. I know that Xbox has me logged at I think 2 months playtime. Playtime.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot. I played a lot of Blackout. Won over 300. Actually, it might be been over 400 games. Won over 400 games on Blackout.
Wow.
Yeah, I fucking love Blackout like a lot.
I had
Um,
50, about 50 when I was done.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a battle royale game. Winning's not easy.
Yeah.
Because again, I played a lot, so I have a lot of wins, but I also played a lot. I also lost a lot. Um, but I remember there was one magical like 2 week period where we won like at least once a day, and that was really cool.
Nice.
I think once we got a hat trick, we won 3 games in a day, so that was dope. But yeah, Blackout's probably the game I spent the most time on. Black Ops 4, technically. Um, Next question. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of work, school, or another
Yep.
engagement to play a game?
Yep. Every World of Warcraft expansion.
Yeah, so this would happen to me a decent amount in, believe it or not, in school. Because I was a really smart kid. I was really good at school, so like I could usually talk my parents into it, and they were like, as long as your grades stay good, you could stay home.
Yeah.
Funny story though, right? So Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, right? It comes out, and I get sick as a dog, like fucking dying sick,
Like for real?
like for real, like not
Okay.
fake. And ironically enough, we had a problem with our internet, so I didn't have any internet either while I was sick.
Oh,
Um,
booty.
so, but like I already had Call of Duty pre-ordered, so my dad picked it up. And because I was in bed, I ended up playing the campaign. Loved the campaign for Modern Warfare 2. It's one of my favorite Call of Duty campaigns. And I did all that, and then finally a couple, it came out on a Friday, and I was out for that Friday, and then the weekend I was still sick. So Monday I come in, and everyone's like, all the kids are like, "Damn, man, like I knew you were gonna take off for Call of Duty on Friday, but why didn't you like play?" I was like, "No, I was legitimately sick." And my teachers, like my advisor, was a really cool dude. He was a younger guy. He was like, it was his first year teaching, so he was into games too. And he's like, "Look, Rome, I get it. You were excited for Call of Duty. I'm not gonna write you up or anything, but I know you weren't sick." And I was like, I swear to God, I had a fever, like the whole 9 yards. Like I was in bed, like dying. And no one ever believed me. None of my classmates, none of my friends, the teachers, none of them.
So when it comes to school, the only time I skipped school for a game release was oddly enough for like one of the Medal of Honor games. I was huge into the Medal of Honor on PlayStation.
Yeah. It didn't happen super often for me, but there were a few games I just do remember.
Whatever happened to those? I think Call of Duty killed them.
Well, the creators of Medal of Honor left EA to go make Call of Duty.
Okay, makes sense.
They created Infinity Ward. The people that made Medal of Honor founded Infinity Ward.
Oh, nice. The more you know.
And then they left Infinity Ward and Activision, and Vince Zampella, who is one of the two guys who made Medal of Honor, currently works at EA and is making Star Wars games. You know Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah.
Made by Vince Zampella, Medal of Honor creator.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. We are almost through here. So this next question, Jeff, and you can say currently, obviously, because you said as a kid you weren't, you're more so playing games. When you play games, do you aim to play them, to finish them, or to complete them? So play being obviously you just pick up a game, play till you're done with it, put it away. Finish, see the credits, get to the end of the story. Maybe if it's a multiplayer game, you like to level up to a certain level and be like, okay, I'm content. Completion, you want to do it all. You want to get all the collectibles, you want to get all the achievements, the trophies, whatever. If it's a multiplayer game, you want to get all the unlocks. Like how do you approach games?
So honestly, it varies depending on the game. But for the most part, I jump into most games just wanting to jump in and play the game to see what it's about.
Mhm.
And then I kind of look for, does the game make me want to beat it? You know what I mean? Does it make me want to progress and do that type of stuff? Or does it make me just want to go off and like do my own thing? Like, you know how there's some games where survival where like you build a structure and you kind of like go out and hunter and gather and type stuff, but there is like an actual end game. Sometimes I just go off and do my hunter gathering stuff and don't even worry about the end game, like that's kind of how I was in WoW. I just went out farming all the time and just stuff like that. But Destiny, that made me want to get in the raid and beat the game. Like, so depending on the game, I think my answer would change there.
Okay. So for me, I consider myself now, like you said, as I've gotten a little bit older, it has changed slightly. I still consider myself a completionist. I like to see everything a game has to offer. When I say I play a Zelda game, I mean that I get everything in that Zelda game, all the heart pieces, all the bottles, everything, you name it.
You're a 100%er?
I'm a 100%er. That being said, as I get a little bit older, time constraints mainly, kind of what you're saying. Like if I'm really not feeling it, I'll finish a game. And if it's like a really, really, really bad game, very rarely does this happen, I don't finish it. I usually at the very bare minimum finish a game. But the mindset and the hope for a game that I play for the first time is to complete it, to get all the achievements. Right now I'm playing Modern Warfare 2. I'm maxed out. I have almost all the achievements. I'm 3 short. I need the Spec Ops achievements for the co-op, but there's nobody to play co-op with. And then like I'm working on gun camos right now for my challenges because that's just how I like to consume games, like to complete them. But yeah. All right. Let's see here. Jeff, has a video game, not out of rage, but has a video game ever made you cry?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Storylines in games have definitely made me cry.
Okay.
World of Warcraft recently, this new Dragonflight, some of the storyline behind it's already kind of got me teared up on some of the cinematics that they've made and stuff. So yeah, like, um, I think I can definitely go back to some of the Final Fantasy games and the storylines in that, absolutely.
So mine, yes, they have. I'm just gonna give one specific one. Now, Jeff, we need to set a precedent for the show here. So when we talk spoilers, obviously we want to let people know we're going to spoil something. How do you want to let people know that we're going so we're going to say a spoiler. We're going to encourage, if you do not want to be spoiled, to mute your audio. How should we react? Like, what should we do to get people to know, okay, the spoiler time's over? Like, let's come up with this on the fly.
So I do have some things that I could have flash up on the screen.
Okay.
I could have Taylor Swift doing the DX thing. That could be a nice signal to turn your audio back on.
Okay.
Let's see here. I got Brian Danielson doing the yes chant. We could do that.
Let's just pick something simple for this time, and we'll come up with something in the future.
Yeah, we'll do Taylor Swift. When you see Taylor Swift, you can turn your volume back on.
Okay, so this spoiler is for Gears of War 3. Okay, so Go ahead, mute your audio in 3, 2, 1. Spoiler starts now. Gears of War 3 had me fucking crying like a baby. Jeff, have you played Gears of War 3?
Yes.
And you've beaten it?
I feel like I've beaten one of them. I'm not sure I've beaten 3.
Okay, I hope you have. Do you want me to continue?
Yes.
Okay. Dominic
Santiago. Because I think it's the one that I've beaten. I have a feeling I know exactly what you're talking about.
When Dom died in Gears of War 3. Fucking cried.
Yeah.
Fucking me and my friends we're playing the game. Dom dies. And man, oh my god. Just so emotional, and just like Marcus is just like in shock, and he's like, Dom, and like that's his fucking best friend who like is already dealing with his own shit, and it's just like, man, what an emotional, like, and people that look at Gears of War, it's like, oh, it's just big beefy muscle heads fucking chainsawing each other. Like, that's how you know someone who hasn't played Gears of War, because the story of Gears of War is so rich and so beautiful that like you haven't played Gears of War if you don't see what Gears of War actually is. But Jeff, you can end the spoilers now.
All right, let's go back to my double screen first, and then we will get Taylor. Bam, Taylor Swift.
All right, welcome back to those who didn't want to be spoiled by Gears of War 3. Go play Gears of War, the whole trilogy, and then go play the newer games too. Really awesome, excellent games. All right, Jeff, we got one more question here, and then we have our wrap up for the show. Jeff, if you could live in a video game world, any video game world, which would you choose?
Oh man, that's an awesome question. So first, let me ask, this video game world, does it have to exist in an actual video game, or can it be from a movie, i.e., Player One? You know what I mean?
Okay, so Ready Player One, fantastic movie. I'm looking for specifically a video game world in a video game.
All right. So I've actually wished this multiple times.
Okay.
The world of Destiny, where where you kind of come back to life every time you die because you have your ghost, and I love that world of Destiny. It's like a post-apocalyptic type thing, but you're still like kind of living large. I really enjoy the world of Destiny.
Okay. My answer, I would love this. Pokemon.
Oh, why did I even think of that?
I would want to live in the Pokemon world.
Okay, yeah, that's an immediate answer change for me. Like, if I could be a Pokemon trainer, yeah, that's not even a question. Yeah.
Not even like just living in that world. Like, could you imagine like you wake up and you're like, oh hey, that's my Charizard.
Yeah, like the movie, dude. Like, when I saw the movie, I was like, dude, if I had one wish from a genie bottle, if I only had one wish left, I'd be like, yeah, please make this movie real.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to live in the Pokemon world. And that would just be fucking cool.
Oh, I can't even believe I didn't think of that.
That's all right, Jeff.
I think because my brain went to the TV series, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But all right, Jeff, it is
such a good question
for what will be. That is our topic, Jeff. How do you think that went? First episode.
Dude, I actually really enjoyed that.
Thanks, man. I'm glad I think the show went really well. I love the way it turned out, and we had some good fun here tonight.
You kind of
Um,
gave me an idea for another future question where we could say like, if you were to be put into this specific game world, what character would you be? You know what I mean? Like we could go
yeah.
like that route.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's another great topic, and I think that's the beauty of how this show is going to work out. Where like, hey man, the topic it's just going to be good fun. Like something I really want to do that's probably going to be on an upcoming episode within probably the next month. Truth be told, I want to do a Pokemon game tier list. I want us to rank the Pokemon games. I
Hell
think
yeah,
that
I'm
would
in
be a
for
lot
that.
of fun to do. So yeah, it's time for the wrap up. So basically, the way that this show is going to work is the wrap up. We're gonna talk about what we're playing this past week, what we're currently playing, and what are we planning on playing in the week coming up. So
Okay.
Jeff, what have you been playing?
So currently I am playing Overwatch and Overwatch, what is it? 2, 1.2, something like that.
Mhm.
I've been playing Overwatch 2. Um, I am very excited for Warzone 2, specifically that DMZ mode.
Yep.
And World of Warcraft's new expansion is dropping on the 16th, which that's going to be awesome as well.
Excellent, excellent. So, like I said throughout the show, I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 since it released last Friday. Played through the campaign, really loved it. Been playing a lot of multiplayer, messing around with the co-op mode. Um, Moving forward and in the future, this upcoming week, I'm really excited for Warzone 2 to come out. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to Pentiment or Somerville on Game Pass, but I really want to play those. But that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are looming on Friday, so this time, by the time we do episode 2, I'll probably be neck deep in Pokemon. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jeff. So Jeff, you're the co-host on this show. Do you wanna wrap us? Take us out of here. Take us home.
Absolutely. Well, this has been episode 1 of the Game Room podcast. You know, we are the Broken Tables podcast here, but this is episode 1 of the Game Room. Thank you guys very much for joining us here tonight. You can catch us on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. What else do we got? Amazon Podcasts, and any of the other streaming platforms that we are available on. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It does help us out tremendously. We're trying to get us up to 500 subscribers. We are at 360 right now. Thank you to everybody that subscribed over the past couple of days. And until next time, we will see you guys. See you guys later.